How do you actually get an official visit to your college soccer dream of choice? This is the College Soccer Guy on the How to Play College Soccer podcast, and I'm going to get into it right now. So, you want an official visit. Of course you do. Who doesn't want an official visit? There are a couple rules here, and I don't want you to get too bogged down with the rules because it's so rare that it actually affects you, and I think a lot of people hear the NCAA rules and then they're not sure what to do and then they don't really do anything. But if you have to deal with the rules, it means you're doing something right because it means that a lot of coaches are talking to you. So at the D2, D1 levels, you're only allowed 5 official visits, which is plenty. D3 levels, they tend to call them official visits, but technically they're not. D3s don't have official visits. And there's also a slight extra complication in that. With NCAA Division II schools, you can actually train with the team on your official visits, which you cannot do with Division I or Division III schools. Like I said, none of this really matters. All that really matters is you want to get as many official visits as possible. When the rules become an issue, we can deal with that part. An official visit basically is where the coaching staff and the school is going to pay for your meals and your living arrangements. And typically living arrangements means living with the guys. They're not going to traditionally pay for a hotel. Okay, it's not college football or college basketball or baseball. Okay, there's not a lot of money in college soccer. In fact, there's basically no money for TV rights and whatnot. Like schools don't traditionally make money from college soccer. They make money because students like me, for example, choose to go to a school that has a soccer team and pay tuition, and that's how the schools make money. So that tends to be why they have soccer teams, because the soccer teams themselves make very little to no money for most teams. So in saying that, the official visit is not going to be something crazy that they talk about on like football teams and whatnot. This is soccer. Now, in saying that, it's still freaking amazing and cool. My official visit changed my life forever. Like literally, I went to my first college party. I got to see what it was like to be a college athlete. I looked up to they were juniors at the time, but they would become seniors for me when I was a freshman, and they were my heroes, and I just loved everything about my official visit. So official visits are really fun. To get to the point where you're getting an official visit, normally, especially with the students I'm working with, if you're a top national team kid, whoop-de-doo for you, you'll get some official visits just because schools want to talk to you. But like in my own career and like the students I would like to talk to and who this podcast is really for, are for those who really, really want it, deserve it, but aren't getting noticed. And that's who I was. And for you guys to get an official visit, we need to send lots of video, email the coaches. I'm sure you know about that. And if you're sending video and emailing the coaches and you're a good soccer player, then you're doing something wrong. Either your video is not good, the way you're writing emails isn't good, the way you're responding to emails isn't good. There's a lot of things that could be going wrong. And of course, my job is to fix that, and we can schedule a call to figure that out. But when you're going on your official visit, it's an exciting time. This often leads to an offer. And that's how my offer was made, was after an official visit. That's how I would say 60 to 80% of my students receive offers soon after their official visit, whether it be during the campus tour, like on the campus tour that the coaches are taking you on, or a couple weeks after, or a week after even. So what happens really? So your son or daughter, or if you're a student, you're listening to this, you're going to show up on campus, okay? Coaches are going to kind of take you. Parents, you have to go bye-bye. The students will then go hang out with the players. They'll probably join them during lunch, or maybe it could be during a game that you're on this official visit, and then that night is kind of when the official visit starts. It can happen in various ways. They'll have you listen in the locker room talk. Basically, you'll get to be a college soccer player for a day. Now, this is kind of hush-hush, but the NCAA aren't listening to me. I hope not anyways. But on my official visit, what can happen is you can go and play with the players. I talked about that at the D2 level. That's allowed. Like the coach are going to watch you. It can so happen that the players that aren't playing any minutes that day are going to go play soccer. And what happens is you may go kick the ball with them for a couple minutes, and those players might report back to the coach and say, hey, coach, he was really good, or she was really good. I think you should put him on our team. And because the coaches aren't allowed to watch you. But now the players kind of secretly, unspokenly were able to see you, because there's all these NCAA rules, all of which are really dumb. I won't even get into that. I hate the NCAA. Now, I love college soccer and everything, but I think the NCAA is just, for soccer, they just screw up all the rules. But I'm not here to change the rules. I'm here to just help you get recruited. So it's possible that on your official visit, you could be playing soccer with the players, and that could be a huge part of the recruiting process. So just keep that in mind. Bring your boots. Now, you're on this official visit. You're going to maybe go to some classes with the kids. You're going to have lunch with them. You're going to sleep over with them. If you play a game, they may take you out that night. Please, in my case, we went out. And I wasn't like the number one recruit when we were going out. I was probably the top two recruits for my Division I school. There was one other player who was kind of, it seemed to be known to everybody that he was like the number one guy. And we went out, and he was like cool, and he was cool in high school. I was not cool in high school. I wore like a soccer jersey every single day to school, like a full Chelsea kit, like shin guards, socks included, until like my senior year. Anyways, my point is, because I'm obsessed, my point is, there were girls who wanted to talk to him, and he was very good. He was like, nope, this is my official visit. I'm behaving. That's where you can really screw up your chances. And I'm not saying they're testing you per se, but like, you've seen that stuff in the movies. If I became the captain of my team at college, and we'd have, of course, many students come to do official visits, and the coach's first question would be to me, what do you think of them as a person? And I would judge them on behalf of the coach, because he trusted my opinion, and I would basically give them the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Now, the coach would always make the final decision, but they're trying to get to know you within their environment, and they're going to ask and go, did you like them? Did you not like them? Her or her? Were they good vibe? Did they cause trouble? Did they drink? Did they dance? They're going to want to know everything. Now, you have to be mindful, because sometimes the players are like, hey, this is something we do. You're going to, like, coach already, like, sometimes the players on the team will be like to the recruit, the coach told us all about you. Like, we know you're really good. Just have a drink with us. Do not do that. That is not okay. First of all, that's illegal. And second, they, not that they're testing you, but maybe, that's how college coaches are weird people sometimes. They do extreme things like that to see how you react. So I'm saying you have to have your own morals and forget, if you don't like the team. I'll tell you one quick story. I was at Hofstra, and I'll never forget this. I was at Hofstra, and I had an official visit, and I watched them play that night, and as it happened, the freshman I was staying with scored that night, and he's actually a college coach now, and he and I are friends, really close friends now, because he's college coaching, and I help you guys play college soccer, but he scored, and it was a game-winning goal, and then we went out that night, and I was staying with him, and there was some guy, he wasn't on the team, but basically got really drunk. We locked him in his room, or they locked him in his room, and he fell asleep, so they drew like a mustache on him and inappropriate things. And then we locked the door and put him in there, but he was so drunk he couldn't like tell what was what. So he started screaming like, who drew this on my face? And then they kept kind of teasing him. And like, it was not the vibe for me. I was like, this is crazy. I had a good venture story, but I was like, look, this is not a school I want to go to. The coach was not somebody that I vibed with. They did make me an offer, but it was a really expensive school. And most of all, I was like, look, I did not like this vibe. But that can happen on your official visits. So I just want to tell you to be mindful when those happen for your students. Now, how do you pick the right school? Like you've gone on multiple official visits. How do you now decide? The best way that you'll hear a number of times is if you weren't playing soccer, would you still like the school? That's a great way, but look, you're playing soccer there. That's the deal. So it's not a perfect question. The better question is, do you like the coach? Okay? If the coach benched you, would you be miserable? Like, you'll be like, I'd rather die, which is, of course, extreme. So hopefully not. And we know that's a serious subject. So I don't mean it jokingly. But because there's a lot of pressure. I mean, there's been horrible horror stories about students, feeling so much pressure from college sports. So you want to really say, like, is this a coach that's going to torture me? And how do you know that? You ask the players on the team. They will tell you the truth all the time. I'm going to repeat that again. Please ask the players on the team. They, even if they're starting, not starting, they'll say, hey, look, he's a bit of a hard ass, or she's a bit of a hard ass, but you know what, she's a great coach and I trust him. Or, this coach is a dick, but I play every minute, I'm out full ride, and I don't care. But like, they will tell you the truth. And for my coach, everybody, the people that did play, they're like, look, this guy's amazing. He's a great human being. And he is, and he's kind of my second father figure. Shout out Mike Avery. And, it would change my life, but it's really important. My brother, when he was doing the recruiting process, got to know the assistant coach really well and really liked him, and the assistant coach really liked him, and the assistant coach basically told the head coach, hey, this kid's a baller. And my brother went on as like a top recruit for this D3 school, and the coach was miserable. And my brother, oh my gosh, there was like a gun pulled on him at one point. It was a horrible thing, horrible. So that's really how I actually got started in this industry, is because I want to make sure that you don't end up in a position like my brother, who was like, really, really depressed. So if you want more help, give me a call. Links in the bio. I'm very excited to help you through this process, and we'll talk soon.